All right, folks, another Dr. Rick, another Relate Well moment. Hey, listen, if you're tuning in, I've got and the camera in front of me, which you want to be looking at. I've got my Instagram right here, kind of from this angle. If you're on Instagram and have a question or a comment or something like that, be sure to write it in. I'll be monitoring questions and comments here. And for those that are following on the Rick Marks Facebook page, the Dr. Rick and Relate Well YouTube page, or my Dr. Rick Marks corporate page, ministry page, feel free to write a question, make a statement, those things. I'll be monitoring it here, but please, feel free. If we need one, two, let's have a dialogue. We can have a conversation around what's going on, and kind of learn from each other, if you will. All right. So we're going to talk about the equation for living a healthy, mature life. The equation for living a healthy and mature life. Um, Folks, many years ago, I'm 61 now. Been married 39 years. Coming February. Um, I would do it again. Luella's my best friend. She's the safest person, one of the safest people in the world to me. And now, in the early years, I loved her, but I didn't know how to love well. Got it? I mean, I really didn't. I didn't know how to love well. And I hurt her a lot because of my brokenness, my immaturity. I was mostly a child back in those days. Um, and so I didn't know how to love well. And so I did a lot of things stupid, you know, just stupid. But I also recognize that if I didn't change me, if I didn't change what I was doing, I was going to pass on a generational sin curse of brokenness and stupidness, and I didn't want to do that. So I needed to do some things different. Got it? And I needed to love better and love different, and that was important for me. And so starting in '94 is when I really started getting aware of that I need to make some changes. Over time, four words just kept emerging in my soul. They were not given to me by academics or even by books. All right, part of it was by some mentors that I had. Um, but in the end, I these four words were almost like, I'm going to say, is God telling me, this is how I want you to structure who you are, moment by moment by moment. You become these four things, and these four words I became eventually the core of Relate Well, our corporate work. You see, I don't know if you can see it here, but it became the core of the Relate Well curriculum. All right, the Relate Well curriculum teaches people how to have healthy, mature, loving relationships and sustain healthy, mature interrelationships, even in conflict. Or I say, how do you protect an us? All right. Now, we believe that the most important part of any relationship, particularly in a marriage relationship, is us. And when us wins, you both win. Us lose, you both lose. But to live for us requires a very particular way of being as an individual. In other words, if you think about the word us, you, and the letter S, the first letter is you. Do you understand that the more healthy and mature you are, you can give to us in healthy, mature ways, and the more unhealthy you are, you can't give to us in a healthy way because you aren't healthy, mature. That's where I started. I had to start looking in the mirror. And so over time, these four words, which I now call the equation for living life maturely, and these four things I call the protector of an us. If you live this way as an individual, no matter what, you'll always be protecting the us in all of your relationships, be it the marital bond, boyfriend, girlfriend bond, parental bond with your kids. A work team has an us to it. And if you are a leader that leads this way, you'll protect the us's in the work team, all right, as far as it concerns you. And so what are these four words that I refer to as the four protectors? The equation, if you're taking notes, looks like this. H equals REG. H, humility, equals REG, respect, empathy, and goodwill. Humility equals respect, empathy, and goodwill. Because you see, folks, to live a life of being a respectful person, to be a caring person, that means you have empathy. To treat people with goodwill, not ill will, requires humility. Pride will cause you to treat people in disrespectful ways, will cause you to be uncaring, and cause you to treat people in ill will. Because that's what pride does. Pride allows you to focus on yourself. Humility allows you to move into compassion. Humility allows you to move into cooperation. Humility, it comes from a person who's okay with not being okay. You see, when you look at the psychology research around humility, and I've done the research, I've read the books on humility and the research around humility. I'll sum it up this way. To live a life of humility as a way of being means you are a very powerful person. That's right. The more humble you become, the more powerful you become. The more humble you are, the more powerful you are in regulating your world. That's right. Why? Because you regulate your world by regulating yourself. You don't try and control things you can't control. Prideful people try and control things they can't control. Humble people recognize what they can't control and what they can control and can't control. And the wisdom to know the difference. Think serenity prayer. And they live in that wisdom. Humble people aren't bothered if someone cuts them off in traffic. Humble people aren't worried about standing in a line at Walmart when they only have one open, 25 lines closed. Because humble people look at opportunities to realize that life, there are things in life I can't control. Why would I let it rob me of my joy? Why would I let that person rob me of my peace? To do that requires emotional maturity. And the more emotionally mature you become, the more humble you become. And you live life rather powerfully. Now, 8, humility equals respect. The second thing that I began to realize was I need to become humble and I need to live my life in humility. So I always ask myself, am I being humble right now? Am I being humble right now? Am I being humble right now? But the second one was respect. Am I being respectful? Respectful. Am I being respectful? In other words, respect is defined as honoring and valuing another person. When you dishonor or devalue people, you're being disrespectful. When you cut someone off when they're talking, you're being disrespectful. When you tell people they don't have the right to their thoughts or feelings, you're being disrespectful. Just because someone disagrees with how you think or feel and they think and feel different doesn't mean you're right and they're wrong. Just agree to disagree and move on. That's respectful and it's humble. It's humble. Respectful people are wonderful because they never try and control. They don't manipulate. Respectful people treat you with respect. They honor you. They honor your thoughts. They honor your feelings. They honor your perspectives about the world. They honor your motivations. They may not agree, but they'll honor them. Like I said, it's something, I can see why you did that. It makes sense to me based on your perspective. But you also might be thinking, but I would have done that myself. You got it? To live a life of respect is powerful because love, listen to me, love always treats people with respect. And the essence of love is humility anyways. And the third word in H, Rick, humility equals respect, empathy. Empathy is a vicarious experiencing of another person. It's feeling what you feel, okay? I can feel with you. When you're hurting, I hurt with you. All right. When you're happy, I'm happy with you. I also believe that in a very simple form, people who lack empathy always send the message that they don't care. I think the power of living a life of empathy is that you'll never send the message, I don't care. I care about what happened to you. May not agree with what you did or agree why you did what you did, but I can care about your experience. I can care. Never send the message, I don't care. I believe this strongly. The worst message you send to anybody in any relationship is I don't care. Because if you keep sending the message, I don't care, and they figure out that you don't care, You just put yourself in a position for them to start thinking, well, if he or she doesn't care about me, why am I here? Why am I staying? And there's a lot of never send the message, I don't care, folks. All right. Out there in Instagram world, don't ever send the message, I don't care. Because you keep sending that message on a regular basis and they figure out you don't care, they're going to walk out of your life. It's real simple. And then the last word in my equation for healthy living, humility equals respect, empathy. And the last word, the fourth word, is goodwill. Goodwill. When the angels, came and announced the birth of Jesus, they said peace and what? Goodwill. In other words, this birth that's coming is actually goodwill towards all men. The Father was sending goodwill to us, not ill will. Not ill will. See, goodwill means you treat people with benevolence. You treat people with kindness. You treat people in respectful ways. To treat people with goodwill means no matter what you do, I don't want to hurt you, harm you, put you down, invalidate you, tear you down, disrespect you. I don't want to do that. Why? That's ill will. And if you want to sow discord, you will reap discord. If you want to sow peace, you reap peace because you will reap what you sow. It's the law of attraction. And to treat people with goodwill is loving because love always treats people with goodwill. And so the idea for my life is that when I started to choose HREG, H equals REG, to live a life of humility, respect, empathy, and goodwill in all their forms, moment by moment, as a way of being. Did you get that phrase? As a way of being. Most of what I do is respect. It's caring and it's goodwill. Why? Because I became a humble person in essence. And now I can't do it. I can't do that perfectly. That's not a part of my humanity since we're in a fallen world and humans make mistakes. So I just do it maturely, just not perfectly. Got it? You can live HREG maturely, just not perfectly. But the more mature I became as an individual, how did I get there? HREG helped me get there. HREG helped me become a healthy, mature adult. By monitoring myself, self-awareness, am I treating well? Am I being humble? Am I being respectful? Am I being empathic? And am I treating somebody with goodwill? And if I knew that I was, I knew I was being loving and caring. And if I knew that I wasn't, I would stop myself, ask that person to forgive me for the way I was coming across, and I would change it in a moment. Why? Because that's goodwill and respectful. It says you care about how you come across. Does that make sense? All right, folks. This is another Dr. Rick and Relate Well moment. I hope this has been a little bit to inspire you, to encourage you. Learn more about us at relatewell.us or drrickmarks.com. We can serve you. Let us know. You can get the Relate Well curriculum online at www.relatewell.us. Click on the core curriculum. Download the curriculum there. And you can watch me teaching that video in your home, and you will learn the fundamental skills of how to relate well so that you can love well. And it's all centered around living for us and protecting us with H equals REG. HREG, humility, respect, empathy, and goodwill. Have a great rest of the day, folks. Bye-bye.